Hello, I'm your host Dorothy Mashburn, and welcome to Salary Negotiations Made Simple. Here I show you how negotiating does not have to be overwhelming. I break the entire process of negotiating into easy-to-learn steps that you can use in any salary negotiation situation. Whether you're starting a new job or preparing to ask for a raise, expect to receive practical, actionable strategies that are based on real-life experiences. I'll be sharing tips that have been proven to work, where professionals like you have netted anywhere from $10,000 to $75,000 more in compensation. It's payment for the skills you already bring, so you need to know how to ask for payment for that value. Are you ready to learn how to boost your earnings? Let's dive in. We have Mollie Lo in the studio today. Let me tell you about Mollie. Mollie paid her dues in corporate America as an HR leader. She came to a realization that she wanted to do more, be more, and help more. And she leveraged her 20 years of experience and successfully launched her coaching business. Mollie believes that everyone deserves to find or create a career they love, one that allows them to use their unique skills and talents to make a positive impact on the world. As a career and business coach, she helps her clients navigate career changes and entrepreneurship. When she's not empowering others, she's spending time with her husband, Mike, and 3 kids, Madden, Tyson, and Brielle. You'll often find her reading a historical fiction novel while sipping a venti vanilla blonde latte. We are talking about all things interviews, salaries, and how to secure the career that you love. Mollie's excitement and enthusiasm is contagious. You are in for a treat today. Let's dive in. Morning, Mollie. And we're recording on a Monday, so happy Monday. How's it going?
Happy Monday indeed. Good morning, right back at ya. It is going so well. It's my favorite day of the week, so come on. Can't get any better than that.
Let's start there. Why is Monday your favorite when everybody else in the world says otherwise?
Yes. What's so interesting about this is I was a part of the majority, I like to say, right? Where we're like, it's Mondays, just get through it. And I've got to a place in my life, personally and professionally, where I have found my true purpose. And for those of you who have yet to meet me, my name is Mollie. I am a business coach specifically for career coaches. And let me tell you, when I was working corporate, I paid my dues in corporate HR for 20 years, worked my way up to the top of the food chain, and I just found myself really lacking fulfillment and purpose, right? I mean, we talk a lot about wanting to make a greater difference and what does that actually mean? And so I went on this journey to just take a chance on me and really figured out what I loved and enjoyed doing the most. And so now that I'm able to coach and lead and guide others into creating a thriving and passion-fulfilled based coaching business, I had to love my Mondays. It's so hard not to love them. So that's where we're at.
Love it. I know you've been hugely successful in your journey when you went solo, sort of away from the corporate world. Tell us that story. How did that come about? And what were some of your fears that you had to overcome in order to do that?
Yes. Okay. So I'm going to give you the skinny down version as much as I can. So actually, I was at a point in my career where it's what you call your zone of excellence. I was actually really great at my job and I could do it with my eyes closed. I could do it sleeping. But again, there was this missing void. It was like, okay, is this it? Is this all my life is going to be until I retire? Is just doing this job that I know really well? And I was having a conversation with one of my colleagues and he actually said to me, Mollie, if you could bottle up your juice, this pizzazz pizzazz that you have, all of your knowledge and just your optimism and your energy, I would buy it. And that was the spark that really launched to me thinking to myself, oh, would you really? Okay. And then that became the brainchild of my business. So when I got to a point, now I side hustled for a couple years before I went full time. And that is very common for lots of people to do. I think that's actually a really smart way to really test out. Do you want to do this? Is this something that you truly enjoy? Is it what you anticipated or thought? And so after about 2 years, I decided, yes, this is what I want. And it was Valentine's Day, and I had my husband and my children. They were doting on me. They loved me, with every year they make me chocolate covered strawberries. And I am so spoiled on Valentine's Day, even though it's not Mother's Day, it's Valentine's Day. And I just thought to myself, well, everyone loves me, but how come I don't have a sense of self-love? Like, what would my life be like if I truly loved myself and I put me first? And the first thing that came up to mind was, you would be doing your coaching business full time. And so Valentine's Day was on a Sunday that day. On Tuesday, 2 days later, I had my one-on-one with my senior director, and I submitted my resignation 2 days later. And so fast forward, here we are doing this full time and truly loving it.
You brought up a point about zone of excellence, and you've helped a lot of people in that zone of excellence find that passion or find that next transition. So tell us a story about that. Like, maybe pick one individual that stands out who was in that and you helped them move ahead.
Oh my gosh, yes. Okay, so as I shared with you guys in my intro, I'm a business coach for career coaches. Why? Because I have been able to successfully build my own career coaching business for the last 6 years, and now I want to do the same. Almost like giving the blueprint to other career coaches to do this. Now, when I was a career coach, I focused primarily on millennial women. And the majority of my clients came with 15, 20 years of professional experience. And so when you're talking about actually finding a career that you love, even though you are in your zone of excellence, the majority of my clients were women who were in their careers in that industry for 15, 20 years. And they're just like, yeah, this isn't for me anymore. It no longer serves me. I want to try something new, something different, something bigger, something better. So that really is my jam, is the ability to successfully help women to transition. Now, gosh, it's so hard to pick one specific person, but I guess if I had to pick one client, because I love them all, they all have their own journeys and they're all amazing. I have, let's see, let me just take a minute and think about okay, I'll give you a specific example. So I had one client who was a teacher, and she worked as a teacher, a middle school teacher in Florida. Now she was making about $47,500 annually. So 47, we'll just call it 47 annually. And she just said, I no longer want to be a teacher. I've been a teacher. She had her master's degree. And she was like, for a master's degree in education, making $47K annually, it doesn't make sense to me, and unfortunately, it's not for today's TED Talk here on Dorothy's podcast. I'm talking about how our teachers need to get paid more, but let me just put that out there, okay? Yeah. When she came to me, she's like, I need to do something better. She had a very, very competitive spirit. And so in this conversation in our coaching, we actually helped her to identify exactly what she wanted to do and really tapping into who she is authentically. Because I don't believe, of course, right? Like, your job isn't who you are, but I firmly believe that who you are should align with your job. And that's how you find fulfillment. That's how you find that sense of, yes, I'm leaving an imprint and there's a greater impression. So through the work, we've been able to get her into her very first sales development rep position. And now this is new for her. She didn't understand a commission-based structure. She didn't understand any of that. This is her very first corporate job outside of walking away from her teaching job. And fortunately, though not surprising, she is now making $200,000 a year in base and commission because we were able to pin down who she was naturally, authentically to her core, and really just leaning into her strengths and her passions. So that's what I would say is one of the most amazing transformations of my clients when we have been able to help them to pivot out of their zone of excellence into their zone of genius.
Yeah, I love that. That is so powerful. And presumably she had all of the ingredients, sales development. She probably talks to people. She gets everything organized. She breaks down complex things into simple ways.
Absolutely. I mean, think about this too. I mean, Dorothy, you and I are both moms, right? And so my oldest is a 7th grader, and the amount of negotiation and art of persuasion that I have to do on a daily basis for my 7th grader to just do his homework or to clean his room. I mean, you want to talk about sales and negotiation skills? Work with a child, right? And you have those skills spot on. And so as a teacher, naturally, that's all she was doing all day, every day was really using her art of persuasion, her ability to meet her students where they were at, to guide them and inspire them to do what is necessary to get the work done. So you're absolutely right. She had everything, all of the ingredients, all of the skills, hard skills, soft skills that she needed to truly excel in this SDR position.
Yeah. And, I wonder what holds us back. So what was maybe her or somebody else, my clients, I talk to them a lot about raising your hand and asking for what you bring, the value you bring, you should get paid for it. Or you're not in a fulfilled job, you need to take the next step. What holds us back in your opinion?
Oh gosh, if I had to pick one thing, I think the biggest, most commonly shared hesitation is the fear of the unknown, right? Now, because I work primarily with women and I'm just, listen, ladies, okay, I get it. Trust me when I say I understand. We tend to like to control, right? And we chalk that up to saying, oh, we're planners. Anytime you hear a woman say, oh, I'm a planner, it means that they like to control the outcomes of a specific situation or a specific event or things of that nature. And again, this isn't me dinging up saying that this is a bad thing. No shame, no shade. However, when you are ready for that next step, and you are getting ready to elevate into a new career or starting your business, in this particular case as well, me being a business coach, there is so much of the unknown. And guess what? When you have this fear of the unknown, you know that you have to let go of control. You cannot control the outcomes. There's of course the universal law of cause and effect. I'm huge on universal laws. And yes, your actions are tied to your results. The decisions that you make lead to the results that you have or you don't have in your career or your business. But when you are absolutely terrified, it is the fear of the unknown that usually trip up women who want to elevate. So that's what I would say.
That's a good point. Yeah. Fear keeps showing up. Fear and guilt are two things that show up a lot. And like you said, is there any pill, a magic wand you'd want to wave to get past either of those or both of those?
Yes, there is. Dorothy and Mollie. And now, of course, as you guys can hear, that comes with a little bit of sarcasm and humor here. However, as a coach, and Dorothy, I'm sure you could resonate with this too, we cannot wave a magic wand. We are not the magic pill to fix all of your problems. However, we are here to guide you. We are here to help you to dig deep, to know the answers that are already within you. And when you are able to work with someone, and that's the beauty of having coaches. Now, I'm a coach that firmly believes in coaching. I've got 3 coaches at any given time, and they all serve their purpose for me. And it's because I know I have the answers, but because of the shame shame, the guilt, the fears, the worry, hesitations, embarrassment, judgment from others that we have, it almost clouds our judgment and it creates lack of clarity. And so when you work with a coach like Dorothy and or myself, our jobs and our commitment is to help you to, number one, not get out of the muck, to really find the clarity and to stand firm in the things that you want. And it's interesting because as soon as you can then say, this is who I am and this is what I want, the way, the process, the steps magically appear at that point. And that's the part that's magical about it. But, I heard someone say, as a coach, I cannot want your success more than you want your success for yourself, right? And that's the truth right there of, I can't wave a wand. I am not a magic pill, because if I want your success more than you want it for yourself, it's never going to go anywhere. You have to be the driving force of that desire and motivation to do this.
Yeah, well said. But I also like that, you're so honest and forthcoming and transparent with it. There is no magic wand, right? But there is a way out of the muck, as you put it very eloquently.
Absolutely. 100%. And when you're stuck, it's simply letting go of that ego and pride to ask for help. And that really is that first step, is the self-awareness and then the decision to ask for help to get unstuck. And that's the reason why so many of the women that I've supported in the last 6 years will use that phrase, and they'll say, I just feel stuck. I don't know what to do next. I feel stuck. I don't know what direction. I don't know what I want. And it's helping you to get unstuck. But in order to do that, the root of that is understanding who you are and what you want first. And then from there, you can start to move your leg out of the muck and get unstuck. But if you're just stuck and you don't want to ask for help, or you don't want to acknowledge that you are, it's going to be really hard to do it by yourself, to get out of it. So
it is. You could probably get there, but you're going to waste many, many years or months or weeks or whatever that time frame is, more than you should have had to.
Absolutely. 100%. Time is one of the most precious commodities that we have. And absolutely, I say this to people all the time. You don't need to work with me. Absolutely not. Who actually needs a coach? Nobody. But it's the people who want a coach that I want to work with, because those are the ones that understand, okay, I don't have the time to figure this out by myself. I want a Mollie or a Dorothy to work with so I can go faster, farther together. And of course, simpler, right? So, it's always better when you tackle something with somebody else and you're not trying to figure it out by yourself.
Yeah. And it's like for your business coach client, right? Mollie, you've been without even me asking, you've been very helpful, kind of showing the light and showing the guide, being the guide. So in the 6 years, you've condensed everything to one or two sentences that for me is world changing or game changing. And you do that naturally, I think.
Thank you. Yes, there is very much, I always say method to Mollie's madness. And there are times where, again, when you think about even the topic that you're an expert in, Dorothy, of negotiations, right? You can YouTube, you can Google a million different things, and you're going to have a ton of different results, right? And it just takes one person to say it in their way, in their method, for you to be like light bulb moment. It connects now. And so, one of the topics that you and I, or subjects that came across, was this ability of not being censored in what we want to share and what we want to say, right? And absolutely, as a business coach, one of the biggest things that I encourage women, my business clients to do is, everyone has a voice. And if you may feel like, who's going to listen to me? There's 50,000 other people that are saying the same thing. That's not true, number one. And number two, it's don't self-censor. If you self-censor, no one's going to ever hear what you want to say. And maybe the way you say it is exactly what they need to hear to understand the concept, the method, the strategy, the tools that they need to make that next step. So absolutely, I take a lot of pride in that. And as you can tell, I'm really good at it, but also I really enjoy it. That's the best of both world.
It is. It really is. And that's how you help people get unstuck, right? Like to your point earlier, because you have the passion as well as the ability.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just it. There's a lot of people who are knowledgeable.
Yeah.
And then you can tell the difference between people who are knowledgeable versus people who are knowledgeable and passionate. Right. And anytime that you can listen, and that's the beauty of podcasts, is you can hear the passion. There is a sense of enthusiasm and drive, and human beings, we naturally can pick up when we can hear someone's enthusiastic passion come out.
Yeah.
So yeah, for sure.
And you also made a point last time we talked about you believe in collaboration over competition. So how does that play out for you? How do you still get business if you're giving away the goods for free, I guess? Yes.
Oh gosh, such a great topic to bring up. So it's funny because I was having this conversation with my sister as well. And I am first generation entrepreneur. So I have literally no family members, my parents, even, aunts, uncles, nobody who can point me in the right direction. Okay. And then on top of that, both my husband and I are entrepreneurs. So it's not like my husband is working and I'm just, doing my thing. We're both doing our own businesses. We love it. However, my sister actually said that. She said, wait, you're a business coach for career coaches? Like, isn't that you creating more competition for yourself? And I laughed at her and she looked at me like, no, seriously. And I said, no, why not? Because here's the thing. When you live in an abundant mindset, you already know there is no, you don't play, at least I don't play well on the competition plane because I truly believe that there is an abundance of clients and leads for everyone. Because again, tying this back to what I just recently said, everyone is going to say something different. Someone's method is going to land differently with other people. And it is your job as a coach to find and attract the right people that understand you, that is your community, your tribe, right? If you will, your people. And so, somebody who is going to really like working with me isn't always going to like working with someone else, and vice versa. I actually, anytime I reach out to someone on LinkedIn to get to know them and they actually tell me that they're working with a career coach already, and I celebrate that. I will respond in a voice note and say, oh my goodness, that is amazing. Congratulations on saying yes and investing on your personal and professional development. You don't find very many people who do that automatically. I love being a part of your network because you already found your coach. That's amazing. I am celebrating you today, sending you lots of positive vibes and good luck wishes. And they continue to still support me and to engage with my social media and to join my lives. And that's the kind of community that you want. So is there a ton of coaches out here now? Yes. And everybody has their own flavor. Last thing I always joke about is I'm not everybody's cup of tea. Okay. I'm not meant to be everybody's cup of tea. I am a shot of tequila, y'all, okay? And so if tequila is your beverage of choice, I am your lady. I am your gal. I'm your coach. I do to you what tequila does to many people. I loosen you up. You start to dance. You start to have fun. You start to really just let loose, let go, enjoy. There might be some emotions that come about as well, and that's okay. So I'm very much a shot of tequila. I am nowhere near a cup of tea.
I love it. Hey, you want to get unstuck? You gotta get a shot of tequila, right?
Yes. You gotta commit. You gotta take that shot.
Oh, I love it. What advice do you have for anybody listening in, whether they're a business coach who wants to take their business to the next level or just starting out, or if it's a career professional who is trying to get unstuck?
Yes. Here's what I would say. The number one thing here is when you think about, and again, going back to what I have said throughout this episode here, right, is when you think about who you are, you got to start there first. Understanding who you are as a person. And this is a key question that I ask all of my clients, whether you're a career client or a business client of mine. I start first and foremost with saying, number one, answer this question. I just want you to, if you're listening right now and you're not driving, okay, if you're driving, don't do it. But if you're not, okay, and you're home and you have some time, take out a pen and paper or even your notes app on your phone. Answer this question. Who are you? If I were to ask you, what traits, what key characteristics would you describe yourself? What are those characteristics, traits, adjectives that you would identify yourself to be? But here's the caveat. It has to be consistent regardless of who you are or people around you and where you are. Okay. So for example, I'm not going to put on here, oh, well, people say to me like, oh, Mollie, you've been in HR. You must be so professional. I can be, but being a shot of tequila, not really professional, y'all. And if you guys follow me on my socials, you will see that I love me a really good F-bomb every once in a while. It just really pushes that message forward. Okay. So I'm not going to list professional because that's not me consistently, regardless of the environment and the people around me. Right. Once you've made that list, that is who you are. That is the guideline. That's your North Star of who you are. And then I want for you to think about, okay, what do I want next? And this ties into what I also call your non-negotiables, right? Which ties in perfectly to what Dorothy does. Yeah. When you think about your non-negotiables, I want for you to think about all of the tangible and intangible things that you desire. And I'm not just talking surface desires. I'm talking deep-seated desires. So again, using myself as an example, when I decided to leave and walk away from my 6-figure, 20-year corporate job in HR, my deepest desire was to have time freedom. And what does that mean? I wanted to do what I wanted with my time, however, wherever, however I wanted to use my time. And working in corporate America, working 9 to 5 and being stuck at a desk and doing all that was not my definition of time freedom, y'all. Okay. I shared with Dorothy every Tuesday, I go out to brunch with my husband. That is how we reconnect. That is our weekly date. We never got to do that. We were working regular jobs, right? And so time freedom is my deepest, strongest desire. So when you can figure out your non-negotiables, I want for you to then take the list of who you are and what you want. And I want for you to just look at those two lists together. And I want for you to say, okay, what career, what business do I need to and want to have next that is going to not only respect who I am authentically as a person and that will help me to achieve my greatest desires and non-negotiables. And that right there is the secret sauce to how you then start to get unstuck. Mm-hmm. That was like a mini coaching session right there for y'all.
I know. I love it. I'm gonna actually do it after this. Like,
do it. I would. Yes. I would love to hear just what came up for you and your experience. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like people say I'm a good negotiator, but the reason I'm a good negotiator is not because I know the techniques. It's because in the beginning, I take the time to say, what do I want out of this negotiation? Right. That's the key. It's the simplest, but it's also the hardest.
Absolutely. And to your point, I always say to my clients, you cannot, if I say shoot bullseye, right? And I gave you an arrow and a bow and arrow and I said, go shoot bullseye. You're going to look at me and you're going to say, okay, but where am I shooting, right? Where's the target? And that's exactly it. If you don't know what your bullseye is, what you actually want out of that negotiation, how are you going to hit bullseye? So love that very much. That is spot on.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you, Mollie, so much for sharing your wisdom. This is a delight. Every time I talk to you, you're going to be a great coach for anybody who reaches out to you, who wants your pearls of wisdom and who wants to really go after the next stage of their life. And I'm so thankful to have connected with you. And thank you today for all of your knowledge and your stories.
Absolutely. Thank you as well. This has been so fun, and I appreciate the opportunity because this is what it's about, right? Is collaboration and the ability to really support one another, share each other's knowledge and expertise and encouragement. This is what makes the coaching space such a beautiful world to be a part of. And so I appreciate your willingness to collaborate with me and giving me this wonderful platform. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too.
If you're ready to rise up and get paid for your worth, be sure to get the free salary negotiation training at DorothyMashburn.com/fight for your worth. This is the ultimate step-by-step guide in order to help you secure a promotion or break the glass ceiling. Again, it's at DorothyMashburn.com/fight for your worth. Thanks for listening, and bye for now.